Our last lesson was about ratios and proportions, primarily with statistical questions. Now we're going to look at ratios and proportions and how they show up in geometry. Most of what we look at will be geometric figures, like triangles, rectangles, etc. Go to page 4 of your notes, and when you're ready, unpause the video. The first question says the ratio of the measures of 3 sides of a triangle is 2 to 5 to 7, and the perimeter of the triangle is 392 inches. Find the length of each side of the triangle. So we have a triangle, and the ratio of the sides is 2 to 5 to 7. Before, our ratios were only 2 numbers. Ratios can be any amount of numbers. All you're doing is you're comparing those numbers, and if one of them changes, they all change in the exact same way. So I'm going to allow 2 to change, 5 to change, and 7 to change in the exact same way. Well, here's how I do that. I say 2x is one of the sides, not just 2. And then 5 is going to change, and it's going to change in the exact same way. So I would use a variable there, and the same variable. 7 is going to change the exact same way, so all 3 of them would use x instead of different letters to change. Now I need the perimeter, so I'm looking to add all of these together, and when I do that, I'm supposed to get 392. So I'm not saying 2 plus 5 plus 7 equals 392, I'm saying 2x plus 5x plus 7x equals 392. Or in other words, 14x equals 392. And when I solve this, I'll get x to be 28. But I haven't finished the question. We're asked to find the length of each side of the triangle. Well, the lengths are all going to be different. But I already know that x is 28. And I know one side isn't 2, but it's 2 times 28, 5 times 28, 7 times 28. So the lengths are going to come off of those values. When I multiply them out, I get these different numbers. Notice how I wrote the units. I use the symbols instead of the words. It's up to you what you would like to use. If you feel comfortable with this question, we're going to move on to problem 2. If not, stop it and ask one of us for help. Problem 2 uses a different shape. It says the ratio of length to the width of a rectangle is 8 to 5. If the perimeter is 52 millimeters, find the length and the width. See if you can draw a picture and label the sides. You're not going to label the sides as 8 and 5. You'll label them something very similar to that. After you have your best guess for a drawing, see if yours is the same as mine. So pause this right now and try that. Does your drawing look something like this? So I'm not saying every side or 2 of the sides is 8. I'm saying they're 8 times something, and the other sides will be 5 times the same thing. So in terms of the perimeter, I'm going to add all these together, and eventually I'll figure out that x equals 2. Pause this and see if you can figure out what the 2 answers are. Start it up again when you're ready. So I'm looking to find the length and the width. If I know x is 2, then I know I need to complete 8x and 2x, and then don't forget your units. Once again, if you don't feel comfortable with this, ask one of us a question about it right now. If you do, let's move on to question 3. Question 3 says the ratio of the side lengths of a quadrilateral is 3 to 4 to 5 to 8. The perimeter of the quadrilateral is 100 centimeters. Find the length of the longest side. I'm going to try to approach this one without drawing a picture, but I still know that I have 4 sides. Every one of them is being multiplied by something, and whatever that something is, it's the same something. So these 4 sides are all being multiplied, I'm going to say by x, and when I add them together, I'll get a perimeter, which is supposed to be 100 here. When I finish solving this, I get x as a convenient number of 5. And the question is asking to find the length of the longest side. So I know x is 5, but x isn't representing the length of a side. It's representing how much a side is going to get multiplied by. If I'm interested in the longest side, well, the longest side is going to come from the largest number, which is 8. So I need to multiply 8 by 5, and I would get that the longest side is 40, well, what were the units in this problem? Centimeters. If you feel good about this, can you go on and complete number 4? When you're done with problem 4, show one of us your answers, and we'll tell you what to do after that.